Reflections on a Quaker Childhood by Liv Henry of Goose Creek Meeting. I eat leaves. Onlookers have been disturbed by the 6'2" giant of a girl swooping down to pluck at the undergrowth with a casualness usually reserved for nose-picking or public spitting. In childhood, I came to know the subtle sense of the plants, their secret names, and through a perilous process of trial and error, which were good to eat. And eat I did, gorging myself on sultry hibiscus, indulging to excess in sweet lipia leaves, growing fat on the knowledge I gained with each discovery. This natural knowledge was the basis of my childhood, an odd kind of youth of perpetual bare feet, bedtime stories from National Geographic, and tofu substitutes for every possible food. During the sullen summer months, I steeped in the swimming hole of Bull Run Creek instead of the chemical marinade of a conventional pool, whose chlorine depths were disappointingly free of beavers and water snakes. My frantic escapes from harassed wildlife provided more entertainment than any inflatable toy. Delivering lambs in the spring was more delightfully gory than any television show, and the bouncy newborns were more endearing than their static, stuffed imitations. Getting lost in the rollicking Blue Ridge foothills was encouraged, just as bee stings were celebrated as character building. Left to my own juvenile devices in a vast organic playground, I discovered a necessity of self-reliance that did not exist in society. The world of prowling teachers, suspicious nurses, and attentive mothers. Alone, but not without resources, my blossoming cuts were treated with the clear gelatin of jewelweed, and then bound with stachys leaves, while clothes ripped in play were pinned with hawthorn spikes. Far from watchful eyes, my 10-foot fall from a rickety hunter's nest had to be dealt with in painful, bloody isolation. There is something about the American South that nurtures legend, that cradles, spanks, and slaps it into infamy, and in such a tradition, the fame of Randy Payton's herd was born. Rumored to have 3 of the most unpredictably violent bulls in the county, the herd overwintered on Suicide Hill, prime sledding territory for reckless tobogganers such as me. Confident that no temperamental cows would harass a person of my backwoods skill, I had barely entered the pasture when I was deftly surrounded by a ring of meaty Anguses out for blood. Inspired by a recent infatuation with Jack London, I dove to the ground and packed snow in an arc above my head, burrowing an icy camouflaged cocoon. The cattle remained still, motionless menaces. It was a charged standoff, my personal Cold War. A little past nightfall, the herd, bored with their fruitless vigil, moved on. Erupting from my wintry stronghold, I galloped home, frozen and utterly humbled. This benign rebuke of my childish hubris inspired in me a profound humility. The authority of Mother Nature over her human children was a lesson thoroughly instilled in me by a band of murderous cows, by a provoked wasp horde, by a ruthless river current. But what I learned and understood in childhood is still unrecognized and disregarded by the vast majority of adults who fill the wetlands and wonder why floodwaters ravage their home, who poison the air and lament their diagnosis of lung cancer, who sit prostrate in front of the television like piglets sucking from a sow. It is this breed of adult that triggered in me a Peter Pan-like dread of growing up. 18 now, and confronting this looming threat of adulthood, I try to maintain my girlhood habits, my simple wonder at life. But the battering ram of progress makes casualties of so many wild, free things, tempting my spirit towards cynicism and despair, for the forces of industry and vice have felled so much that cannot be resurrected. However, with this new and strange maturity comes a snapping, striving sense of purpose that holds me hostage with its urgency, refusing me sleep, hunger, and peace. The need to protect wilderness is all-consuming and undeniable, like I am but an instrument of some greater design. Life and living things are so much more precious to me now because I understand their capacity to be lost. I am all too eager to fashion a new world, a better world in which no child is taught that it is dirty to eat leaves.